Who is the most popular guy at a nudist colony? The one who can carry a cup of coffee in each hand and a dozen donuts. A woman walks out of the shower. She winks at her husband and says, "Honey, I shaved down there. Do you know what that means?" The husband says, "Yes. The drain is clogged again." A man breaks into a church. The police were called. They chased him around and finally caught him by the organ. Have you heard about that new movie, Constipation? No? That's because it hasn't come out yet. No chopsticks, no coffee, no early morning. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and my PC decided it wanted to update today, my old PC, and it took over 2 hours. By then, I had to go to the doctor. So I'm doing a middle of the day show for you, and we're going to talk about the same things that I would talk about on the Daybreak show. I had a routine doctor appointment today, and I took it to another level. I recruited my new doctor. The old one went to another practice, and I have a new one that I met today for the first time. And I recruited him into being a health and fitness partner with me. I decided to do something different rather than just being a patient. I wanted to be a person who wants to optimize their life. And I literally asked him, these are the exact words that I used. I want you to partner with me on decreasing and eventually ceasing all medication, build more muscle, and get to my ideal weight. Watching his face light up was amazing. I guess he was tired of just going from exam room to exam room, seeing sick people or checking people's medications. He actually thought, wow, I can actually make an impact here rather than just maintain. I know it made him feel like he might actually be accomplishing something. And like I said, I did see his face light up and he became very enthusiastic. Next appointment is in 3 months. I tipped the scale today at 190 and the goal is 175. Now keep in mind, I am 5'11". I want to be lean, strong, lower body fat, but healthy. I don't want to be, I'm not a guy that wants to be ripped. One of the things I noticed about people who get ripped is that their face also gets ripped. You can't just selectively get a six-pack, and decrease all the body fat without the face being affected. I know a skinny, gaunt, ripped face doesn't look good on me. I actually look better with more weight on me. But I'm going to go down to about 175, and he thinks that's going to help me achieve all of my optimization goals, and even my T levels will go up. One of the things he said is, there's no way you are 63. He says you have the body and the fitness of a man half your age. And his final words as he was leaving the exam room were this: "You make me want to work out now." I thought that was kind of cool. On the topic of relationships, in the pipe smoking world, there's a concept called ghosting. And it's when you put tobacco that has a strong room note into a pipe. Strong meaning earthy, leathery, peat, grassy, hay-ish, etc. And then later you try an aromatic in the same pipe, let's say a cherry, a caramel, vanilla. The pleasurable aromas to the average person on a sidewalk, the sidewalk blends that I talk about. But the strong tobacco that you had in it earlier, last week, a month ago, whatever, stays with it. And that's called ghosting. That's why a lot of people will literally designate certain pipes to certain tobaccos because of ghosting. I have found that in the dating world that ghosting is also a factor in relationships. Is the other person free from the ghosting of past relationships? Are you meeting and getting to know a whole person, the real person, or is the person that you meet, or yourself even, in reaction mode to a divorce, bad relationship, a bad breakup? Only when you are free from a past relationship can you freely put yourself out there without having the ghost of past relationships in your psyche or in your heart. Then you can freely choose a new partner. It's almost like cleansing your palate at a wine tasting. Or if you go to a beer tasting, you see the people with pretzels, a string of pretzels around their neck. And in between Literally, in between beer tastings, they take a bite of a pretzel to kind of absorb any flavors or oils from the past beer sipping. When you go to the next booth, you don't want what you tasted in that booth affecting your taste buds for this booth. Those of you who've gone to beer festivals, you know what I'm talking about, or wine tasting nights. So you have to kind of cleanse your palate. In relationships, you can't freely choose a new partner without being free from the ghosts of past relationships and past partners. Because what happens is you start falling into the comparison trap. With men, you're comparing hips, breasts, legs, bodies, hair, smiles, eyes, hands. The pictures of the old person are still in your head. Great ass! When you are clear from the ghosting of past relationships, then you can make a new, healthy choice. Great ass! You're not clouded. You have clarity. Your vision, your relationship vision is not blurry when it comes to matters of the heart. Every single one of you needs to become a ghost detector, a ghost hunter, so to speak. What you really want is someone who has moved on as you are. You never want to be someone's medicine. That's why I say ghosts be gone. And here we are in Spooktober, which is also Pectober. Spooktober, the month where we talk about ghosts and ghouls. What a coincidence. Ghoul friends. And being consistent with Spooktober. Oh my God, there's an entire skeleton in my house! Actually, it's inside my skin, and I have control over it. I love this line by Lewis Smedes. When I married my wife, I had no sense of what I was getting into. How could I know how much I would change? My wife has lived with at least 5 different men since we wed, and each of the 5 has been me. The same thing with your girlfriend, the same thing with your wife, sir. They're going through changes too. Women love doing this to men when they break up or divorce them. You're not the man I married. Well, no shit, sister. Who is the person that you married? Everyone changes. You're not the woman that I married. I'm not the man you married. We evolve. We grew. But somehow that gets weaponized. Thank God I'm not the same guy. Here's 10 characteristics of a high virtue, high value man. Remember when I said let's start changing the conversation from high value to high virtue. Number 1, glorifies God with his actions, with his words, with how he treats other people, with how he treats animals. Number 2, and these are in no particular order. Number 2, having a healthy marriage or relationship, or a relationship that can lead to marriage or something long-term and or permanent. Number 3, has children, or is going to make children, or is a father figure to many. There are some men out here, you don't have children. You may never have children, offspring of your own. That doesn't mean you can't be a good role model for those that are younger than you. Remember what I said, everybody is a teacher and everybody is a student. Number 4, a high value, high virtue man can earn in any economy or location. Is your income bound by geography or how well the economy is doing? Is your income pandemic proof? We found that out in the past few years, didn't we? That not everything is pandemic proof. Recession proof, depression proof. Think about it. Gas has gone up. Groceries have gone up. Everything has gone up. Has your pay gone up with your expenses? Number 5, a healthy body and lab work. That's a high value man. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, you have nothing. Health is wealth. Number 6, the high value, high virtue man is charismatic, which means he can work a room. He can help an old lady up the stairs across the street, talk to a veteran or an elder and honor him for his experience and his sacrifice in life. Charisma is a word we don't see much anymore. In the men's community, we have replaced the word charisma with game. I say make charisma great again. Number 7, he's charitable. He gives of his resources and gives of his time. Where have you given of yourself? Now, we have Brovember coming up now, where you are to help one man with something, at least one man, somehow, some way. Get another guy out, take a 5-mile walk. If you belong to a gym, bring a guy that might need to go to the gym and have him go through your workout, of course, at a lighter level. Motivate another man. You know, a guy that just went through a breakup or a divorce? Help him with the help that you received when you had trauma and chaos and confusion in your life. Remember, every man is a student, every man is a teacher. Number 8, the high value, high virtue man is creative. How do you get creative? You might say, I don't have any creativity. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio. Read a book. Reading books, actual books themselves. Actual books. Let's see, what am I reading here? Adventurer, The Life and Times of Giacomo Casanova, the world's greatest seducer. Pretty thick book there. I can't wait to read this. Can you imagine having a name that people use synonymously with seduction or making sales or having inroads to important people? Seduction is not just a sexual experience. It can be about business as well. That's what sales is: education, seduction, marketing, signing on the dotted line, being a leader, getting people to follow you. This book is going to light a fire. Books light bonfires, and that bonfire is in your head. Number 9, the high value, high virtue man is resilient. He bounces back after adversity. I will never forget asking my father about what he thought some of my good points were. This is many years ago. And he knew I loved kind of rough and tumble things. I lifted weights, I wrestled, I boxed. And one of the things he said was, he goes, "You sure can take a punch." And I wasn't sure if that was a compliment or not. And I know he meant it in the boxing arena, but he also meant it in life. In other words, you've bounced back from some hard things. You could take a punch and still get up and fight. What a compliment from your father. Isn't that great? And number 10, the high value, high virtue man is well rested. He's not burning the candle at both ends. He knows when to go to bed, when to get up. He realizes that all restoration of the body and the mind happens while you sleep, so you protect your sleep. 10 characteristics of the high value, high virtue man. Choosing who you will marry and have a family with is the most important decision you will ever make. I know I failed at that, or I should say I fell short in that area. And it's unfortunate that the modern woman has put off marriage and family for career, girl vacations, boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend their entire life. It's like they haven't grown up yet. Women in their 30s and 40s are still like little teenage girls with their boyfriends every few years, and sexual encounters in between the boyfriends, and on business trips and girl vacations. How dare you tell them how to live their life, their pathetic lives. God created women for 2 things specifically: to help and to bear children, for marriage and family. Anything else beyond that is an extra, but those are the priorities. You want to follow God's will, lady? Marriage and family is where it's at. That's how you please God. If you can't have children, or something happened where you were in the unfortunate situation to be able to not have children, and I'm not talking about not choosing children. Maybe you were infertile. Maybe something happened where you just can't get pregnant. You remember the story from Under the Tuscan Sun, where she wanted a family, and at the end, she ended up celebrating with all these people, where she supported a young couple in their marriage like she was their mother. And she was instructed at the very end of the movie that this is your family. That's a possibility too. I have told many women that if you marry me, you will be the mother to many, the matushka to many. That's intimidating for some. That's inspiring for others. And that's a tall order to fill for an immature woman. It is God's will that a woman be married and have children, not go to an office every day. And there's 10 reasons that I came up with why modern women avoid marriage. Number one, their parents had a crappy marriage. And marriage, that's the only example they had. And marriage scares them because they think they might end up having a marriage like their mother and father. Number two, their relationship with their father is bad, which is one of the first things that you need to vet a woman for, is what is her relationship like with her father? Number three, they're brainwashed by feminism and Westernism. Pursue everything except marriage and family. Number four, they are married to their career in the ever-changing work environment and the titillating experiences that come with coworkers, other men, and business travel. Number five, they are not realistic about their decreasing market value. Number six, they're married to their parents and afraid to leave, cleave, and be subject to the love of a good man. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, submit to your husbands. In other words, be subject to the love of your husband. What woman wouldn't want to be loved by a man who loves her the way that Christ loved the church? Number seven, lost the ability to bond to a husband through sexual misappropriation of their bodies. They are blind, deaf, and numb to a good man when they encounter him. Number eight, their priorities are off. Number nine, they are satanically independent and refusing to be subject to the love of their husband. And number 10, the lack of marriageable, leadership-oriented men with sound judgment and vision for the future. There's some things to think about. I took a poll and I asked, do you care about other countries' problems and wars? The answers were exactly where I thought they would be. 83.3% said, no, we should focus on us here in the United States. And 16.7% said, yes, it keeps me awake at night. There we go. Just about 80-20, just what I thought. But yet, the 20% seems to rule the 80%, as the United States is sticking its nose in everybody else's business and not caring for our own country. Just remember, the propaganda this week is very deep in all outlets right now. Ignore it. All the classic bullet points are being repeated everywhere. And just be aware of that. Remember, the news that you are watching, that you are hearing, that you're seeing everywhere is meant to influence you, not inform you. I roasted some great coffee today, and you saw my little YouTube short of that. And this is some of the coffee that I made. Ethiopian. It was roasted and ground in an air corn popper. And this weekend, it will be brewed in a mocha pot. I can't wait to have it. And with that, finish your pineapple juice, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason. All right, so you working out these days or what? That means no.
Well...